Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Crank Addict and this is the channel for crank addicts like me and hopefully like you. Today we are going to be modifying this reproduction door for a 73 to 80 whatever square body. This is a late model one with power windows, power locks and all that good stuff. And we are going to be chopping the window frame so we can use it on our 73 to 75 full convertible Blazer. So stay tuned, we're going to get some measurements and we're going to show you how to do this. Alright, well I am lucky in the fact that I have an original 73 door to use as a template. Some of you guys may not have the old doors here, and this video will be very informative to you. So I am going to go through this in excruciating detail. I'm going to get some key measurements on some of these bolt holes and stuff so that you can make the appropriate cuts to your reproduction door or late model factory door to make it work on your Blazer or Jimmy. So let's get measuring. We're going to get some measurements off of this factory door here. And a quick disclaimer, there's no guarantee that these cutouts are going to be the same, the exact 100% exact same on a reproduction door. Now if you're going to a genuine GM body panel off of an 80 model truck and you want to put on your 73 or 75, this will be a lot closer. Okay, but I say there's no guarantee that these stampings are going to be exact when you go to a reproduction. So let's take some measurements. Okay, from this door handle escutcheon, let's see here, whatever you call that, the opening to the top edge, we're looking at 2.8 inches straight up on the front, 2.8 inches on the back, and the top of the hole 2.75 inches. All right. So 2.8 inches from there to there, and from here to the top of the hole, not the center line, but the top of the hole, 2.75. All right. Okay, this is the driver's side. I'll pull that cap off so we can compare to see how close they are from one side to the other. Ideally, they'll be exactly the same, but I don't know. So, okay. From the top of the bolt hole, 2.68. It's a little shorter on this one. And the other one was 2.75. And on the front, .68. Okay, so there was a 0.1 inch difference between the driver's side and the passenger side door. That's actually quite a bit. There's 0.1. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is, almost 1/8 of an inch. That's like the thickness of a cutting wheel. So that's almost that thick. That's, I don't know, more than I thought it would be. All right, let's measure this real quick here. So I'm going to go error on the side of caution. So I'm going to go with a larger measurement to measure off here. So I'm going to go with the 2.8 inches, 2.80. I'm trying to lock it down, but it's not locking. It still slides. Harbor Freight Tools, gotta love them. Okay. 2.8 there. We'll measure the 2.8 in the back. And then back here is just a little bit more, 2.85. Let's see how that compares there. So I see a pretty straight line there. I can draw a line off there, and that can be my cut line. And then we'll evaluate the back side. That was a $500 door I just cut with shipping, of course. So now we're going to flip it around and try to get some measurements off the back side. Okay. I've never really compared the back sides of these before. Like I said, this is a big door panel door, and this one's a short one for manual windows. They look about the same, really, except the extra holes down here. Front part out here is a little bit different, but that's okay. I mean, this part here looks pretty much the same. I do not see any decent way of measuring off this back corner here. I said this hole isn't there. There's a hole there that's not here. On this one, it doesn't match up very well. We could try maybe the door handle hole, but I don't know. That's kind of pushing it really to the corner here. I don't know. I like to get on the same flat surface if I can to minimize errors in measurement. So I think I am just going to eyeball it and cut straight across. The original looks like it's very level, so let's just go for it. We'll shoot for about a 90-degree perpendicular cut to the main panel. Okay, well, you can see that I made a cut on the top, just get rid of this extra material. My bolt here for the vent window is here, so I went 1.5 inches, 2 inches beyond what I thought I would need to cut. So I got plenty of extra meat here, so I can get it just right later. So yeah, my cut was about an 1/8 inch high back there, which is what I planned. This cap doesn't quite cover the edge of the door frame, so there's about a 1/8 of an inch reveal on the side. And just sitting here, there's a lot of rocking on this cap. And so that's telling me that this part is just way too high. So I'm going to go ahead and cut another 1/8 inch off all the way around. Okay, so now let's try on this cap again. Still feels a little snug in the front, but I think that's it though. If I kind of pull in on the door just a hair, it fits a lot better. let's go with that. Alright, so now on the old door here, we need to remove this reinforcing panel. It has a couple of mounting holes for the plate on top also. We're going to remove this guy here, and we're going to transfer it to the other door. So you can kind of see how this looks here. This piece there, that piece there is cut off completely, and this piece here is kind of bent down and tacked in. Yeah, that's bent, and this is kind of hanging out there, but that's not quite what it used to be. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna get out this spot weld cutter. We'll knock this loose. I got some surface welds here that we'll knock loose, and that should come right out of there. Actually, this piece here is continuous with this piece down here, which runs all the way across to there, all the way across to there, and you can see how it mounts up with the door locating pins here. It's welded here, and I don't see any welds in the back, but it is tacked to the door skin. Also saw the cut the tacks to the door skin, cut this one to the door skin, and cut this one to the door skin, and then spot weld, spot weld, spot weld, spot weld. 4 spot welds and a few door skin cuts. Okay, well, before I finish this off, I just wanted to make a note that the flange on this inner reinforcement is just a fingernail underneath the top edge here. So that's a pretty good indicator of where it needs to go back on the new panel. Just holding this thing up. Oh, another piece of metal here. Okay, a few more spot welds. We got one here and one there. 2 more spot welds. Nothing there. Empty. And there we go. Apparently they missed the spot weld before. Yeah, they missed. They tried to do 2 spot welds, but they put one here and the one out here to the nowhere. So even the factory makes mistakes. Is that funny or what, huh? So this is that finished piece. Wow. I was not expecting it to be quite that big. I think I bent it a little bit, getting it out, make it more square. Okay, but that's how it looks. All right, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. We'll get it ready to try in the new door. Okay, I still need to spray this piece with some weld-through primer and such. But it's ready to try in anyway. Let's see how this feels. There we go. And that pops right up into place. Might need a little tweaking on the fit back here, but it's pretty close. So I'll mark my drill holes for my spot welds, and we'll go ahead and get this thing primered, ready to go. Alright, so now that we have the back of the door cut, we need to look at making this cut at the front of the door. It's not too difficult to line this up. You can see that this outside edge here is cut in line with the vent window, but there's like a little 45 here coming off the side, and that's going to be the tricky part. Fortunately, I still have the original rubber caps that go in here, so that's going to help me figure things out. We'll just cut a little bit at a time until we get it just right. There's also a little cut on this top edge here, so we're in line with the window, and then it cranks back at about 45 degrees off of that first line there. And I would guess, oh man, I'll show you this here. I'm not sure what degree that is. So now you guys can see that well, that screw hole is supposed to be lined up right there. Okay, so we're coming off about, I don't know, so double angle there. Boom, boom. Double angle there, and then an angle across there. So that'll be a little bit tricky. So I don't recommend you guys trying this unless you have one of these patch panels to insert, because this is going to be a little tricky. But here we go. Alright, well, it turned out my top screw location was actually correct. I was able to sneak it in there, took a little bit of finagling, but I got the top one and the bottom one in place, and I went ahead and measured and drilled the hole for the middle one. I don't have the middle screw installed, but I drilled the hole anyway. So now, let's cut this let's cut this outer skin. Remember, we're going to cut it right in line with this, the edge of the vent window. So I'm going to probably leave it just a little bit long initially so I can trim it back later. But here we go. Okay, so as you can see, I cut that just a 1/16 of an inch longer. Slide it out. Got to spin it 90 degrees to get it out. Okay, I'm trying to get a few more data points here. I found out that the center line of this hole to where, here we go, the center line to this hole to the 90 degree on this thing here is about 0.75 inches. So I've marked a line 0.75 inches from this center line going across. That's to help me triangulate this location here. Again, I'm trying to be conservative, so I'm cutting it out away from my marks. So I'm gonna be cutting across here, down here, and on the bottom, back on that line there. You guys can see that. There we go, get the light on. And you can see the line going across there. Okay, so let's make some more cuts. Some of those burrs there. I'll bet that was loud for you guys. I hope I remembered to turn that down in the videos. Okay, putting on the little rubber bumper here. Let's see how things line up. Alright, well at this point, I still don't have this thing seated all the way. I cut this back, but it still won't go. My screw hole is not lined up yet. So, I'm thinking something on the outside here, on this edge, is holding me up. Just gotta figure this out. Oh, there it goes. Hang on, it's going. Just a tight fit with the rubber and the sheet metal. I think that's gonna go if I keep working it. Okay, well here it is, all installed. Vent window is in. There's that mark I made, that was 0.75 from that screw hole, so you can see the grommet, weather stripping, whatever you want to call that thing, is just slightly short of that. Backside here, you see this one pretty good. And of course there's a little screw hole underneath here as well that I had to drill to get into the bottom piece, but that's not going anywhere now. So this door is now ready to be sanded. So let's do the other side. But I think for the other side, I might try to make a little paper template first of that contour, just so I can replicate it a little bit more quickly. And through the magic of Hollywood, this other one is now done, okay? For this one, I used the same measurements, but I went ahead and made a template off the old door. You have to use like pieces of cardboard here, and then on the back side, and then just tape them together because it's a compound curve. But I was able to save a couple hours of work here. This door here took me about 3 hours to cut and weld, whereas the other one took me probably 5. So big difference there. I've got the support welded in here real nice. I did have to make a little cut right across here and then fold this section in a little bit, then pound it back down in order to have the piece on top fit, you know, flush so it didn't rock too much. But yeah, it's looking really good. These doors are now ready for some sanding and some primer. Check out the little reinforcement plates that I made for the striker. This does 2 things for me. One is that it reinforces this whole piece of metal here so it doesn't tear out. This one here was torn when I bought it, and I welded it up and, you know, smoothed it out, but you know, it's gonna tear again. So this extra, I think this is 16 gauge steel. It's gonna help to reinforce this area. I cut it at a dimension similar to the body tag down here, so hopefully it looks more factory. I did plug welds to hold it in place. I'm gonna seam seal the outside of it so it looks factory, and we'll see how that looks. So now I gotta get to sanding all these rockers, the inner door panels, because I want to spray these jambs on those inner doors and maybe the inner fender a little bit as well. We'll see, but hopefully next time you see me we'll have that done. I'm probably not going to film it, maybe just do a couple of highlights as an intro for the next video or something, because this is kind of boring stuff. So, oh, and seam sealer. Gotta have seam sealer. when you do this stuff, because there's a few seams here and there that you need to seal. Even on the new door, I'm going to have to put some seam sealer around some of those areas to make sure that we don't have water intrusion. You know, it's been spot welded from the factory. There's no seam sealer. The EDP coating is not a seam sealer, so you still got to seal it. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button. Feel free to ask questions, and I'll catch you guys later.